Hello, my name is Doug Camper. I'm with the 60th Virginia Infantry, Company K, and I'm having an opportunity to reshoot most of my videos that I had done previously. So I figured I'd start with the unit that I'm with, the 60th Virginia Infantry, Company K, but the 60th Virginia itself passed through the Roanoke Valley here during the war, the Civil War, no less than 6 times during the war. It started its field operations in what is present-day West Virginia, and it started in August of 1861. Its first scrap or whatever would have been the skirmish on Soul Mountain, West Virginia, where it would end up losing its first officer casualty, the lieutenant colonel of the regiment, Corley, and he would be shot and killed by a Union picket in October of 1861. After their time, a short period of time in West Virginia, they would find themselves with General Robert E. Lee at Port Royal, South Carolina in November of that very same year, and they would spend the entirety of Christmas in South Carolina. Their trip down to South Carolina would be the first time that they came through the Roanoke Valley, and they rode a rail all the way down to Port Royal, South Carolina. So after that, they would come back with Lee to Richmond, Virginia, and before that they would receive their battle flag, which is similar to this one that's a reproduction. And at the time that they originally received it, it did not have any of the battle honors on it. However, during the war, it would get the 3 battle honors that are mentioned: Mechanicsville, Cold Harbor, and Frazier's Farm. Mechanicsville would be June 26, 1862. Gaines Mill of Cold Harbor would be June 27, 1862, and Frazier's Farm would be June 30th, 1862. And because they did so well at Frazier's Farm, they were recognized with cross bayonets on the bottom of their flag. It's one of the few regiments, if not the only regiment in the Confederacy, to have received cross bayonets, which means that they engaged in hand-to-hand combat with the bayonet. And after that, they would go with Stonewall Jackson to Cedar Mountain. They would be involved at Cedar Mountain. Then from there, they would end up in Narrows, Virginia, and they would also be involved in a campaign to retake Charleston, West Virginia from the Union forces, which they did, and they occupied that area for 6 weeks during 1862, going from September to October of 1862. So after that, the 60th would come back to Narrows and guard the town of Narrows, along with the New River area going through the town. And then the next time they would be called to action was May 9th, 1864, at the Battle of Cloyd's Mountain. They would fight Cloyd's Mountain and be defeated. And on June 5th, 1865, they would fight later on at the Battle of Piedmont. And then after that, they would fight during the Shenandoah Valley campaign at 2nd Kernstown, 3rd Winchester, and Cedar Creek. And finally at the Battle of Waynesboro, Virginia, where many of them were captured. At the end of their service, the regiment had been shot to pieces. The flag actually fell into the hands of Union forces at the Battle of 3rd Winchester, in September of '64, they would basically be destroyed at Waynesboro. However, Company K, which was the skirmish company, which is the company we portrayed, was one of the few companies that made it off the field at Waynesboro because they outran the Union cavalry to the bridge and managed to make it over the bridge before the Union cavalry took the bridge and cut the entire Confederate army off. So they would make it, following Waynesboro, they'd make it down to Christiansburg, and on May 2nd, 1865, they would disband. Company K, along with one other company, were the only companies that would be returning to Virginia. The rest of those companies, members of the rest of those companies, would be returning to what is now West Virginia. So I appreciate y'all's time, and I hope that this has been informative. The clothing I wear is verified as something that we would have received in April 1864, but going back to possibly as late as October of 1862. The jacket is a Richmond or a Stanton Lynchburg Depot jacket, and a copy of which is in the Atlanta Museum, the Atlanta Historical Museum in downtown Atlanta. And the reason why it is a Ohio soldier captured the jacket at Dublin Depot following Cloyd's Mountain, and on April 29th, before the Battle of Cloyd's Mountain, the Confederate forces in the area were issued jackets similar to this. So that's the reason why we wear this jacket. And when we portray basically the Department of Southwestern Virginia, that's who we portray. So thank you again. God bless.